Wednesday morning, you know what that means. Picayune Wednesday, and the editor of the Picayune is in our studio. Y'all say good morning to Daniel Clifton.
Morning, everybody. How we doing again today?
We're doing good.
Fine Wednesday morning.
Got through Thanksgiving, ready for the holidays now, of Christmas coming up soon. And the Picayune out and about on your doorsteps this morning with some good stories in it. And speaking of Christmas, Burnet's got some nice celebrations going on with Main Street Bethlehem that you've got a story about at the Picayune.
Yeah, Main Street Bethlehem, the first weekends of the month of December, draws, I didn't realize that it draws like almost 30,000 people in these 6 days, because it's only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Wow.
For like 6 to 9 or something. It's not a whole lot of time.
It does not surprise me that many people are there. I've been in line, I know.
I've been there too. And I was always like, did you pick the coldest day of the year? It seems like the one time I was like going out there, it was like freezing. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, bring me the hot cocoa now, not till afterwards. Bring it now.
It is that time of the year. And why do they do it only one weekend? You would think they
do it 2 weekends, the first 2 weekends. I think it's because it's such a big production.
Yeah, and it's all volunteers.
All volunteers. They dress in costume. They bring in animals that, you know, so I think they're donkeys, and they've built, if you've never been there, they've actually built this Bethlehem like a block or two away from the church. So it takes a lot of work to do it. And so it's not something you'd probably want to do every night.
Yeah. All right.
It's amazing, too. A must-see if you haven't yet. You've got to see it.
Yeah, and read the story in this week's edition of the Picayune. You'll find that. And also, since we're on the subject of Burnet, how about them Bulldogs?
What about those guys? Yeah.
The dogs are going to round 4 this week, and of course we're keeping it covered in the Picayune.
The Picayune, we got a good story covered from last week's game being Waco Robinson, and then they come back and they get to play Liberty Hill. Now this is a team we know a lot about because it used to be in the district together, and last year, but when they did that split with the district, Liberty Hill went their own direction, but now it's back.
It's back.
And it's going to be a big game.
Yeah, it is going to be. And weren't you doing a little research, Ed, on the history of
the history of the
games
between the Bulldogs and of course Liberty Hill? It's kind of 50-50. I mean, if you look at the breakdown of the wins and losses between two teams, it should be a really, really good game this Friday night.
Yeah, it looks pretty exciting. Kelly Reese Stadium. Get there early. I think that's it's a pretty big stadium, but this one's going to draw a lot of people from Burnet, Liberty Hill, and the surrounding area. It's a big rivalry. Yeah,
don't forget, we've got the game for you here on KBEY.
So exciting.
And you can also download that app at kbeyfm.com for your Android or iPhone. You'll be all set to listen to the game wherever you are.
That's the best way. You can watch the game, and then in your ear, you can hear all the play-by-play.
Exactly. Find that story in this week's edition of the Picayune, and go Dogs! And also, a great story that y'all have this week about a family's one-time project that turned into a little bit something more. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to do something like one time, you might want to make sure it's something you're going to do for a long time. But the Moore family had helped one of Mrs. Lisa Moore's the mom, and then Sean Moore, husband and wife. And Lisa had a friend of hers in the Kerrville area's house burned to the ground last year. And she had health issues, so it wasn't something she could really quickly recover from.
Right.
So the Moores got some stuff together, put word out, hey, we're taking donations. Will you help us out? And so people poured in donations for household items. They took it down, delivered. And then they realized, they're looking around, they think, this isn't a one-time thing. There's other people who go through this, the fires or some other thing. And so they basically just said, if you've got stuff you want to donate, we'll take it, and we'll turn around and we'll find people who need it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's grown and started, and it took over their house, and now they have got the Church of Christ gave them a little unfinished house nearby, and so they store stuff in there. And so it's every year they've helped a lot of families out, and they're doing a community celebration on the 7th.
All right.
Fantastic.
So you can read that story, and also you can find out how you can donate as well in there when you read that story in this week's edition of the Picayune. As I said, it's on your doorsteps this morning, all over the Highland Lakes. But if you're not finding it on that doorstep and you haven't been receiving the Picayune, tell them how to go about getting that.
Well, you call up front at 830-693-7152 and get on the list, and they'll get you on the address, and we'll get it to you.
Those lovely ladies up front will take care of you.
And as always, the Picayune is free. Daniel Clifton, editor of the Picayune. Thank you, buddy. We'll see you next week.
All right, see you next week.